the Archbishop of Westminster, Cardinal Vincent Nichols, who's the leader of the Catholics in England and Wales, said this: the death of Pope Francis brings great sadness to so many around the world, both within the Catholic Church and societies in general. A voice proclaiming the innate dignity of every human being, especially those who are poor or marginalised, is now silent. The legacy he leaves is one we must seek to carry forward and strengthen. Now we pray for the repose of his soul and that he may know in full measure the merciful and loving embrace of the Father of the one God, to whom he gave his life in unstinting service, and may he now rest in peace and rise in glory. Well, the Archbishop of York has also paid tribute, writing this: he was a listening Pope whose commitment to the principle and the process of synodality will be a permanent legacy of the Roman Catholic Church and to all of us. Goes on to say, I remember in the brief times I spent with him how this holy man of God was also very human. He was witty, lively, good to be with, and the warmth of his personality and interest in others shone out from him. May he rest in peace and rise in glory. Well, the President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, said this on X: today the world mourns the passing of Pope Francis. He inspired millions far beyond the Catholic Church with his humanity and love, so pure for the less fortunate. My thoughts are with all who feel this profound loss. May they find solace in the idea that Pope Francis and his legacy will continue to guide us forward, just more peaceful and a compassionate world. French President Emmanuel Macron has written this: from Buenos Aires to Rome, Pope Francis wanted the Church to bring joy and hope to the poorest. May it unite people with each other and with nature. May this hope continually revive beyond him. And my wife and I send our thoughts to Catholics and to the grieving world. One more tribute here. This is from US Vice President J.D. Vance, who met the Pope just yesterday, also shared a tribute on X. I just learned of the passing of Pope Francis. My heart goes out to the millions of Christians all over the world who loved him. I was happy to see him yesterday, though he was obviously very ill. He goes on to say, but I will always remember him for the below homily he gave in the very early days of COVID. It was really quite beautiful. May God rest his soul. So just some of the tributes from across the world there of the passing of Pope Francis, who has died at the age of 88.
So as the Catholic faithfuls gather together to mourn the passing away of their leader, the Pope of the Catholic Church, we are also in mourning with them. Because whether you are a Catholic person or not, whether you believe in the Catholic faith or not, losing someone whom you love is never an easy thing. And so we have decided to bring to you guys some of the messages that is being put out by world leaders. I think it would be nice for us to hear what world leaders are saying about the passing away of Pope Francis. And I just want to ask you one thing before we continue with this live show. How much impact do you think your life has on the people around you? Like, how much impact are you making? Do you think that if a day comes when you pass away, people are going to miss you? People are going to say nice things about you. People are going to be like, wow, we really miss that person. Do you really think so? Because from what the world leaders are saying and from what I have gathered so far, I can say for sure that the pontiff, the late Pope, had a lot of impact on the lives of people. He was the one that opened up this whole discussion about allowing same-sex people to have their union blessed by the church. And when he did that, there were a lot of anger within the Catholic faith, especially from my own continent, Africa. People were really, really angry. And some bishops were like, no, we are not for this, that we will not allow this to happen. But I think that what the pontiff was trying to do was just to have an inclusive society where everyone feels welcome. He was just trying to meet the people halfway. That was just all he was trying to do. And he spoke a lot about the poor and the needy in our society. He was all for common people. He wanted common people to have a sense of belonging. He is going to be missed a lot. So before I continue with this live stream, giving you my own opinions on the man of God, Pope Francis, I would like you guys to listen to what some leaders are saying. Leaders from all over the world have nothing but praises for the late pontiff. So let me play the audio clip so that you will listen to what the leaders from all over the world are saying.
What are we hearing from world leaders now reacting to his death?
There have been quick reactions from all over the world, including the Prime Minister here in the UK, Keir Starmer, on Twitter, saying that, or on X, I should say, saying that he was deeply saddened to hear of the death of His Holiness Pope Francis. He mentioned his tireless efforts to promote a world that is fairer for all and will leave a lasting legacy. That from Keir Starmer. Also, the President of India, the Prime Minister rather of India, Narendra Modi, saying that he's deeply pained by the passing of His Holiness, and he said that in this hour of grief and remembrance, my heartfelt condolences to the global Catholic community. And the President of Kenya also releasing a statement saying that this was a big loss to the Catholic faithful and the Christian world, that Pope Francis will be remembered for a life that was dedicated to serving the Lord, the Church, and humanity.
So you guys have all heard what world leaders are saying about the pontiff, right? And, I always advise people that try to live a life of impact. And I know you don't have to be the Pope, okay? But you can make sure that how you live your life has an impact on the people around you. You must make sure that whatever you do benefit a few people around you. Like Mother Teresa once said, you don't have to feed the entire world, but you can feed just one person, and that would be enough. If only you could look after one person, if only you could be kind to one person, if only you could be yourself and not hurt a single person, that would be enough. So how much are you making sure that your life has an impact on the people around you? You can hear the messages that are being put out there by world leaders in honor of the pontiff, Pope Francis. So let's continue with this other we did these other messages from world leaders. Let's see, I think the volume is quite low. Actually, this one is from the French president.
En France, mais ici dire toute la tristesse qui est la nôtre dans ce moment et la grande douleur, je le sais, qui est partagée par.
He just saying, I wanted to express here all the sadness we feel at this time and the great pain shared by many in France, but also across the planet.
I just signed an executive order putting the flags of our country, all of them, all federal flags and state flags, at half-mast in honor of Pope Francis. So he was a good man, worked hard, he loved the world, and it's an honor to do that.
The Pope has done a great deal for not only his own congregation, but for the world as a whole. We offer our deepest condolences to the entire Christian world, and above all, of course, to Catholics.
Before we begin, of course, our condolences for the passing of Pope Francis. Our embrace to all Catholics in Mexico, but also to non-Catholics. Pope Francis was a humanist, a man who was always close to the humblest, to the poor. Even yesterday, his message was for peace. So it is a painful loss.
I want to extend my deepest condolences to Catholics and all those around the world inspired by the extraordinary life and example of His Holiness Pope Francis. Pope Francis was a messenger of hope, humility, and humanity. He was a transcendent voice for peace, human dignity, and social justice. He leaves behind a legacy of faith, service, and compassion for all, especially those on the margins of life or trapped by the horrors of conflict.
So this one came from, I think, J.D. Vance, who posted on X, formerly known as Twitter. He said early Monday that he had just learned of the Pope passing, and he shared a link to a March 2020 homily that he said he would remember him by. I was happy to see him yesterday, though he was obviously very sick. Vance noted, my heart goes out to the millions of Christians all over the world. We love him. So he is just sending a warmly message to the Pope. So let's see the next one. There are a lot of them all over the internet, just world leaders saying nice things about the Pope. This is President Milei of Argentina, where Francis was originally from. It is with profound sorrow that I learned this sad morning that Pope Francis passed away today and is now resting in peace. Yeah. You know, Pope Francis has been sick for a while now, and his passing away wasn't something like a shock to most people. If you followed this whole process, you will see that he has been sick for a while. But when I saw him receiving J.D. Vance and also holding the, I think, Easter Mass, I thought he was getting better. And I was shocked to hear that he passed away on Monday, you know. But he has really fought a good fight, and he has lived a good life. So we all wish him a peaceful rest in the afterlife. So let's continue with the next one.
Ici dire toute la tristesse qui est la nôtre dans ce moment et la grande douleur, je le sais, qui est partagée par beaucoup en France, mais à travers la planète.
I want to use this podium to share my deepest condolences with the Christian world, the Catholic world, and with the Christian communities here in Israel, the Holy Land, and Catholics in the United States for their great loss on the passing of His Holiness Pope Francis.
Australian Catholics and faithful around the world give thanks for the life of their Holy Father, Pope Francis, Bishop of Rome. Today, the prayers of more than 1 billion people from all nations and every walk of life go with Pope Francis to his rest.
So this one is from the Ukrainian president, Vladimir Zelensky. He expressed condolences, saying that the Pope knew how to give hope, ease sufferings through prayer, and foster unity. He prayed for peace in Ukraine and for Ukrainians. We grieve together with Catholics and all Christians who look to Pope Francis for spiritual support. So this one is from Vladimir Zelensky, the president of Ukraine. And this other is from the European Commissioner president. He said, humility and love, so pure for the less fortunate, adding that her thoughts are with all who feel this profound loss. Just so many condolence messages. Okay, this one is really lengthy. It is from the King of the United Kingdom, that's King Charles. He said, "My wife and I were most deeply saddened to learn of the death of Pope Francis. Our heavy hearts have been somewhat eased, however, to know that His Holiness was able to share an Easter greeting with the Church and the world. He served with such devotion throughout his life and ministry. His Holiness will be remembered for his compassion, his concern for the unity of the Church, and for his tireless commitment to the common causes of all people of faith, and to those of goodwill who work for the benefit of others. He believed that care for creation is an existential expression of faith in God, resounded with so many across the world. Through his work and care for both people and planet, he profoundly touched the lives of so many. The Queen and I remember with particular affection our meetings with His Holiness over the years, and we were greatly moved to have been able to visit him earlier in the month. We send our most heartfelt condolences and profound sympathy to the Church he served with such resolve, and to the countless people around the world who, inspired by his life, will be mourning the devastating loss of his faithful follower of Jesus Christ." So this one is from King Charles. So let's see the next. Let's take a few listens from what people are saying. Let's see this one.
What are we hearing from world leaders now reacting to his death?
There have been quick reactions from all over the world, including the Prime Minister here in the UK, Keir Starmer, on Twitter, saying that, or on X, I should say, saying that he was deeply saddened to hear the death of His Holiness Pope Francis. He mentioned his tireless efforts to promote a world that is fairer for all and will leave a lasting legacy. That from Keir Starmer. Also, the president of India, the prime minister rather of India, Narendra Modi, saying that he's deeply pained by the passing of His Holiness. And he said that in this hour of grief and remembrance, my heartfelt condolences to the global Catholic community. And the president of Kenya also releasing a statement saying that this was a big loss to the Catholic faithful and the Christian world, that Pope Francis will be remembered for a life that was dedicated to serving the Lord, the Church, and humanity. Diane, those are just some of the reactions that we've received, or that we've seen from world leaders. All of them are reacting to this.
So let's go to the next one.
I just signed an executive order putting the flags of our country, all of them, all federal flags and state flags, at half-mast in honor of Pope Francis. So he was a good man, worked hard, he loved the world, and it's an honor to do that.
The Pope has done a great deal for not only his own congregation, but for the world as a whole. We offer our deepest condolences to the entire Christian world, and above all, of course, to Catholics.
You know, you have to be a really pure souls for two enemies to agree that you were a good person. You know, Donald Trump saying that the Pope is an extraordinary person. It's like a friend. Vladimir Zelensky says that no one could be way more better than the Pope. I'm paraphrasing. And even the Russian president is also saying that the Pope is or was an extraordinary person. How great do you need to be for even your own, for even enemies who are fighting each other on a daily basis to all say that this individual was a very great person. That's why I'm saying that this same Pope will be missed for many years to come. And I hope that whoever replaces him should be someone who want to move the church forward, should be someone who will follow in Francis' footsteps, will be someone who is not just going to abandon all what Pope Francis has worked for throughout the years, but will make sure that in as much as they want to bring in their own agenda, they should also tag along what Pope Francis has done throughout the years, like his whole inclusive ideas or ideas of inclusion, making sure that the church is open to everyone and the church welcomes everyone. I think that is a very good thing for us to have in our society right now, because our society is really, really divided, and the one place we really need that unity should be the church. I think the church should open their doors to anyone and should be able to welcome anyone, no matter who they are, where they came from, or what they do, or their sexual or gender orientation. All those things should be secondary. Salvation, or people wanting to know God, should be the primary objective of these religious houses. So let's take a few more tweets from other world leaders. Let's see, which one do we go next? So this one said, Brazilian President Lula da Silva issued a lengthy and heartfelt writing today. Humanity loses a voice of respect and acceptance of others, and highlighting Francis' effort to bring the issue of climate change, economic inequality to the Vatican. He declared 7 days of mourning in Brazil. Claudia, president of Mexico, called Francis a humanist who stood for the poor, peace, and equality, and who left behind a great legacy of truth, love for one's neighbor. For Catholics and non-Catholics alike, so everyone is saying that he was a great person. He has a lot of influence. He had a lot of impact on the lives of people all over the world. So we all can but add our voice to what others are saying. And we also can share our own views and opinions on the pontiff. And so you guys out there, you too can let us know what you think, right? What is your take about Pope Francis? Do you think he was as controversial as some people might have made him to be? Or he was just someone trying to bridge the divide? Or someone who was just trying to think out of the box, and by so doing, people started calling him a very controversial figure or started labeling as controversial? What do you think? Share that with us, because we would like to know your take on all this. So right now, let's see if I can have some few more tweets to read out to you guys out there. There are a lot of them here. Let's see. Which one should I? Well, I had the one from Barack Obama. Let me see. This one is from, let's see, Macron again. Macron said, Pope Francis wanted the church to bring joy and hope to the poorest. May it unite people with each other and with nature. May his hope continually revive beyond him. My wife and I send our thoughts to all Catholics and to the grieving world. Okay, this one is from the Dutch Prime Minister. He said, Pope Francis was in every way a man of the people. The global Catholic community bids farewell to a leader who recognized the burning issue of our day and called attention to them. With his sober way of life, acts of service, and compassion, Pope Francis was a role model for many. That's well. Okay, I think the next one is from, this was in German. No, not this one. Let's move to the next one. This one is from the the president of Israel, Isaac Herzog. I send my deepest condolences to the Christian world and especially the Christian communities in Israel, the Holy Land, on the loss of their great spiritual father, His Holiness Pope Francis, a man of deep faith and boundless compassion. He dedicated his life to uplifting the poor. This is from the Egyptian president. Let's see. Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi mourns with deep sorrow the passing. This one is from the Egyptian President. Abdel Fattah el-Sisi mourns with deep sorrow the passing of His Holiness Pope Francis, Pope of the Vatican, who left our world leaving behind a great humanitarian legacy that will remain etched in the conscience of humanity. So that was from the President of Egypt. I came across this video on Facebook about this man of God. What's his name again? Is it Uba Angel? I think he's from Zimbabwe, if I'm not mistaken. And he was saying, in the video, right, he was talking about the passing away of the Pope and Pope Francis. And he said, if I told you that the Pope will pass away on Monday, would you believe me? And I was like, if I told you. And many people were suggesting that he actually predicted when the Pope will pass away. But according to what I gathered from what he was saying was, if I told you, I don't think that he was very specific about the day, because he was like, if I told you he will pass on Monday, and then the Pope passes away on Monday. So I don't think that he actually predicted, but many people, especially his followers, are so happy or are jubilating, are celebrating, and according to them, their man of God, their daddy, Uba Angel, is someone who has predicted something that came to pass. You know, when it comes to Africa and all these so-called Pentecostal leaders and so on, as they call themselves, I really do not give them that much attention, because I think some of them are just crooks. It's my own opinion. So it's just what I think, right? I think some of them are crooks. Some of them are just doing things that benefits them. Some of them will say whatever they want to say, or whatever they have to say to get the message across, whatever message they are trying to push. They have predicted so many things that have never come to pass. You know, they predicted the election in Nigeria, and it was something totally different. They predicted the end of the war in Ukraine. Well, the war is still ongoing. And the thing that got me laughing was that some people in the comment section were like, if you guys can predict stuff like this, why are you guys not helping Nigeria to change? Like, if your God is a miracle working God, and if you could plead for your God to do something, and your God could or will do it for you, why would you not ask God to help solve the problems that we are facing in Nigeria? That was what those people were asking in the comment section below. And then I came to realize that, you know, these people, all what they do, right, is just cook up one story or another. And they've been doing that for years, and it has benefited them. And so they've kept on doing it, which is good for them. My only sympathy is for those who are being deceived, right? I have sympathy for those people who are being deceived. And I hope that they all will wisen up, you know. They all will realize that they are being taken for a fool. They are being taken for a ride. And then will not let themselves be deceived any longer. I just hope so, you know, because the level of manipulations, deceptions, and lies by some preachers is just so disgraceful and so pathetic that you begin to ask yourself if these preachers are aware of this thing they do, and they are aware of the impact on society. I don't know, but sometimes you are being forced to ask yourself all these questions, because when you see what they do, you really, really feel sad. But anyway, stories for another day. So I would like to hear what you guys have to say about the passing away of the Pontiff, Pope Francis. Please share your thoughts and opinions with us in the comment section below, because like always, we love hearing what you have to say. And also, I shall be updating you with videos or tweet from world leaders, so that we all can be up to date on what is going on. I think there will be maybe a condolence visit or maybe memorial service in the Vatican. So when world leaders will be paying their last respect to the Pontiff, I will make sure I share it with you guys here, so that we all can mourn the loss of the great man of God. I keep on telling you guys that if not for anything, but just for the fact that Pope Francis tried his best to bring all the different religions together. Like, he met religious leaders of other faiths, like Islam, or I think it was in India. He met people who were Hindu and other religious leaders. He really tried his best to bring people together. And these are the type of things that we need more than anything else today, because of how divisive our society has become. So I hope that we all mourn with the Catholic faithful, and we all pray for the soul of Pope Francis. But let me hear what you guys have to say in the comment section below. Thank you.